Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to Rahnama Academy Shakut, YouTube channel at the rate Ranarab 4563. Having well wishes for all my viewers and students and all the parents who are attending my lecture regularly on YouTube. Today lecture is basically for cadet colleges and it's on science subject. Topic is working of human body. It's second chapter of the syllabus meant for cadet colleges. It's science subject. My dear viewers and students, if you listen to my lectures carefully, I assure you, you will inshallah be ready for passing the exam for cadet colleges on the merit, and you can easily attempt the science paper and you can secure the desired result which is needed for admission in cadet colleges. So today lecture is working of human body, and if we see the overall basic functional and structural unit of body of living thing is the cell, and once cells combine together and they perform a specific function, then we call it tissue. Tissue combinedly perform a specific function and we call it organ. Then various organ constitute the organ system, and organ system constitute finally organism. We as a human being are also organisms. So today we are to discuss briefly about one of the system, that is digestion system. First, we define what is this phenomena, what is this digestion process, why it is needed in the body. Remember, the food we take in our body, and I will discuss one by one the whole steps where food enters first, then next it reaches, and finally how it is being absorbed in the blood vessels. First is why it is essential, why it is needed, why it is necessary. So the food we take in our body, it's in the form of big molecules. Those big molecules cannot be absorbed into blood vessels, and the purpose to get energy from the food becomes failure. If these molecules are not broken down into smaller one for the purpose to be absorbed by the blood vessels in order to release energy, this is the basic function, to get energy from the food. We get energy from the food, and energy is the ability, capacity of our body to do work. If this energy is not available to the living things, So their organ systems do not work, because for working of all the organ systems, they require energy, and this energy comes from the food. How this energy comes from the food? So first we start the first step of taking the food. We take this food into oral cavity. It's also known as buccal cavity, or simply you can understand it is mouth. So in the oral cavity we have teeth, tongue is there. So teeth are very much helpful in breaking down these food molecules into smaller one, into the desired one. Then there are sensory cells which are present on the tongue, which help us to understand the taste of the food. Then there is saliva being secreted from the salivary gland. These glands are present in the oral cavity. So it makes the food slippery. And remember, by rolling function of the tongue through mastication, it gathers the food particle into bolus. That is a semi-fluid or like a paste. Then this food is pushed towards the esophagus. Then through esophagus, it reaches to stomach. My dear students, this whole system is the alimentary canal. There are certain words which will be, you find these words with a different pronunciation, as normally in our school, colleges, we do not bother about these words. So it is alimentary canal, starting from oral cavity, then esophagus, then this food reaches to the stomach. Now, what happens with the food in the stomach? In the stomach, in the walls of the stomach, there are certain glands. One of them is there is certain enzymes. One of them is the pepsin. Pepsin basically is the enzyme, and it is helpful in digesting or breaking down the protein molecule into polypeptide, smaller one. Then there is hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid is also helpful in killing the germs being taken with the food into the body. Remember, the food remains 3 to 4 hours in our stomach, but complete digestion of the food is not completed in the stomach. There are 2-3 actions which are being done by the stomach. One is the pepsin that is used to break down the protein molecule into polypeptide. Then hydrochloric acid being released from the inner wall of the stomach. Then through muscular movement, the muscular movement of the stomach wall, they are helpful in grinding these food molecule into further smaller one. Then this food enters into small intestine. Remember, it is not the intestine, it is intestine, small intestine. Food from the stomach enters into small intestine. Now, what happens with the food in the small intestine? Small intestine gets bile, that is secretion, being obtained from the liver. Then there is another juice being released, excreted by pancreas. It is pancreatic juice. These two, one is the bile, other is the pancreatic juice being secreted by the pancreas. These two juices reach to small intestine through combined duct, and they further digest the food molecules. In small intestine, whatsoever the possible digestion of the food is completed over here, then digested food particles, which are almost in the fluid form, they are absorbed in the blood vessels, and then through liver it is distributed to all parts of the body. Remember, this food is oxidized, oxygen reacts with the food and energy is released out. That is main purpose of eating the food, to get energy for the body to perform various functions. We will discuss later on in next chapter how this oxygen being absorbed by the blood vessels, what is the function of the heart. These topics will be discussed in the coming lectures, but today's lecture is limited to the digestion. Then undigested particle of the food, which still are undigested, they enter into the large intestine, and in the large intestine there are certain salts and water, they are reabsorbed, but rest of the food enters into rectum in the form of feces, then they are released out. So this is how, my dear students, this digestion process is completed in our body, starting from the oral cavity. Here teeth are helpful in breaking down the food. Then salivary glands are there. They secrete saliva, mixes with the food, makes the food slippery. Then esophagus. Then entering into stomach. Then after stomach, the food enters into small intestine. Here the digested particles are absorbed or diffused into blood vessels. Through liver, via liver, they are distributed to all parts of the body, and undigested particles of the food, they enter into the large intestine, and from that, in the form of feces, they are removed from the body. This is the whole topic regarding digestion and how food is digested, how this energy is released out in order to perform various functions by the organ systems in the body. So it's over from my side, and thank you for all the viewers who listened my lecture very patiently. Thank you to all. Assalamu alaikum.